you're so beautiful. And he just keeps saying it over and over and over again.
Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. Well, you guys, if you rock with me every Monday, you know I always have a special guest. And if you're new to my platform, I appreciate you coming on. But let's get started. Let's talk about our special guest that we have. I'm so excited to tell you about this wonderful person that I just met. One, she is a wife and a mother. We big up family, so we clap that up. Also, she's an author and a speaker, and we'll travel down that journey and find out those books and all that good, juicy stuff. But last, but definitely not least, she is the owner of the Beautiful Company, which is an event center. And you guys, please put your hands together and welcome this beautiful lady, Miss Regina Jones. Hello, my dear. How are you?
I am doing amazing. I appreciate the introduction. And I don't know if this happens often, but I am also appreciative that I'm going to celebrate myself. So when you introduce me, I thank you for everything, but I know it goes both ways. So I want to say to you, thank you for showing up at our grand opening, but also thank you for being committed and connected to our community. So it goes both ways, sis.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And, you know, we're going to dive in and talk about the grand opening. But before we get there, and thank you for that, I really appreciate that. Typically, that's at the end, but I love that it's uniquely you at the beginning. So let's talk about my second season. My second season, the theme is don't forget about the love. I feel like too often we do so many things and we don't hold love in the center. We forget about that. So with that being said, can you identify a time that you actually forgot about love and love brought you back to identify it?
Yeah, let me start. So, Hallema, I'm a Southern girl. I was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I was born in the Bible Belt. So you're not going to get anything from me that does not edify God and Jesus and the things that are important in my life. And there was a time that I walked away from him. And there was a time right now in this season of my life where I know him. And my Bible says God is love. So when I walked my walk in I'd probably say my teens and my 20s and my 30s, I was a little bit lost. And there are so many reminders for me about who I am in loving myself. So
Yes.
then I can go out and love others, and then I can go out and be a blessing. So I probably say in my rowdy years, I did not have a true affinity for what love meant and who love was.
Yes. But I love that you said something which I talk about on my platform all the time. Love yourself so you can love everybody else. So many times we want to talk about this group love, but group love first has to start with you, because if you don't have the self-love, now you get led around by your nose by anything because you have no boundaries, you have no preference. But once you know what your love is all about, you can say, oh, no. Thank you, but no, thank you. So that's what I believe self-love is a part of that, knowing who you are. So then you can go out into the world and show and love and help and do all those really great things.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's just dive right in. I was going to wait and make it the last thing, but we'll talk about it interchangeably. I was so enamored by your grand opening of it's called the Beautiful Company Event Center. Am I getting it correct?
You're close. So the Beautiful Company is like our brand, but under the Beautiful Company, we have a salon, we have a store, and we have an event center. because we're trying to do things that are beautiful across what we're doing in Vegas. So we own 3 different businesses, but all of them symbolize some level of beauty.
I love that. I love that. Well, let me just give you, before we get started, before you actually talk about your event center, let's talk about, or let me say this. I have 8 words that I thought were phenomenally put together, and I'm going to say it, and then I need you to tell me. It says love magnified, service elevated, beauty exemplified, and memories created. What?
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing. I love that. I was like, wait a minute. Who did they pay to do that? Who put that together? So tell me a little bit about that. And then after that, let's talk about your event center and the things that you offer.
Yeah, so often, Hallema, we don't always grow up knowing who we are. We look for validation from other people. So one of the things that we wanted to create in all of our businesses, specifically within the Beautiful Event Center, we wanted to make sure that we had a place that was beautiful in a beautiful, okay neighborhood, ran by beautiful people to make beautiful memories. And if by some chance, if you need your hair done, we got a beautiful studio. Our goal and our purpose in doing that was like, it was answering the question of why. Like, why am I here? Like, my Bible tells me that I get an opportunity to live a life and live it more abundantly. But if I am not on the receiving end of believing that I'm beautiful from the inside out, then I'm losing something already in being able to live any life of abundance.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
walk into the beautiful salon, you're going to leave out because we've hand selected beautiful people. We answer the phone. Hey, beautiful, how you doing today? When you leave, we're like, oh, you're beautiful today. Everything about us is magnifying exactly who God says you are in your DNA. So when someone whispers in your ear what you are not, let it be clear when you walk into the center, the store, or the salon, you're going to know what we stand for, which is beauty. So that's where it's all circling around being beautiful and knowing who you are.
I absolutely love that. Um, I think you went to a brand management company and said, okay, this is what I need. And you included, because I love how it's all inclusive. Of course, yes, we're talking about the beautiful event center, but I love how you keep saying, hey, we have this salon over here, if that's the case as well. And what was the other place you mentioned?
It's a hair store, the beautiful hair store.
The hair store. So I think that's wonderful to incorporate it in every level, whether it's celebration, whether it's getting yourself together, or whether you're going to go purchase to get something to make someone beautiful. You're covering all elements of the essence of beauty. But with that being said, I love how you say it starts with me, it starts with God's love, and then it can go out into this universe.
Yes, ma'am. That's it, Hallema. That's it.
So let's talk about your journey. What was the catalyst for you to even say, okay, I'm going to bring an event center on? What was the impetus for it? Something had to pull and tug on you to go that way.
It was 3 things, Hallema. One was um, I have worked in corporate America for 20 years and I love it. I am a corporate executive in my day job and I love it. And I work in a pharmacy. So I have the ability to see and touch patients who are not as blessed and fortunate as I am. And Hallema, I'm talking about ability to see, ability to use your arms, ability to run, just the things that an average person would take for granted. But our pharmacy supplies drugs. So people from ages 2 to 100 can do those things in between. So one of them was about people believing in themselves. So that's why we have the funds through our corporate jobs to be able to do something different. The second reason is because my husband and I and one of my good girlfriends, we go into our schools. Now, some people say inner city schools. No, it's the schools. I don't care what part of the city it's in. We go into the schools and our entire goal is to find and build hope. Well, one of the things that we see when we go into the schools is girls who may not have their hair done because they can't afford it, or young men who may not see the statue of a Black man, that someone who looks like you can be an entrepreneur or business person. And then last but not least, I was tired of renting other people's spaces.
Okay, that's a pause moment. I need you to say it again because you are talking to, I have pews. They're invisible pews. It's 1, 2, and high, but you're speaking to someone. Okay. So say that one more time. You got tired of doing what?
Going and renting other people's places.
Okay. So continue.
So when you think about why we do what we do, the spirit behind why we do it, the third one that I would say is I want to have a life that between my dashes, the day I'm born and the day I die, that there is a purpose between why my life exists. And if I can make someone feel beautiful, reaffirm that someone is beautiful, or do something to create a beautiful memory, sign me up. I'm saying sign me up.
I love that. I love that you spoke to the piece that is so needed. So I'm a big believer of village. I don't exist by myself. You may see Hallema, but you see many facets of my mother, my sister, my coworkers, my friends, my children, and even people on the street I did not know that breathe a word of encouragement. And so I am all of that. But I say that because when you say you go into the school and you identify these young ladies, and it may be the young men, you are filling in a space that's needed when they're young. I know young men that said, hey, I'm a grown man, but I never knew how to be a man because I never had a example to be a man. I didn't know you put your wallet in your pocket this way. And because of that, I struggle. If I had some examples, then I can pull things together to become who I am. With a young lady, we know as being women, certain things, if you don't have your hair together and you don't have no decent shoes on, you feel inadequate. You know, if your shoes all scratched up or they too small, and that may be for a man too, because, you know, if they don't have a nice haircut and groomed up, they may feel inadequate. And we want to fill that space with elevation, with learning, with love. So I applaud you for going into those spaces and breathing into those children. And even sometimes we have to do that to adults.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me add one last piece, Hallema. For the event center coming from the schools, Hallema, we didn't feel like we had a place to teach and educate and elevate. So one of the things, while we appreciate birthdays and anniversaries and retirement parties, we also are going to use our facility to teach young babies on how to write a resume, put in front of them a panel of women or a panel of women to men or women to ask a series of questions. And here's an example. We're going to be launching something, Hallema, called Tuesday Teen Talk. And it's going to be somebody in the military, an officer, military, an officer, someone from Pepsi, someone who does electrical trade type work, and another individual that's going to be an entrepreneur. And across that panel, young boys, and I'm gonna feed them. I'll give them some pizza, some hot dogs, and some lemonade. I don't care. I'm gonna get them in here. But the goal is to give them a platform to see individuals like them and a 2-time felon who is now a business owner, so they know even if you made a mistake, there is hope because we care and you matter. So we didn't have a place to do that, Hallema. We didn't have a place to have a panel of women talk to our young girls or a panel of men talk to our young boys. But we're doing it at the event center.
I love that. I love that. Not only that, you talked about, or I saw on your page about a mustard seed. You are working that mustard seed when you drop. Because I tell you what, Hallema is who she is because it was somebody saying something to me, putting it in my spirit, in my atmosphere, saying, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And not saying I didn't think I could do it, just sometimes you have not arrived at that space. So then when you get confident enough and you ready and you go into that mental Rolodex and you got all that information, you like, okay, I'm ready to do that. So that is so needed. But more importantly, I'm gonna throw it back to you. We need a space where that can be conducted. uninterrupted without the boundaries of other people seeing other things or
Yes,
time constraints. So all of those things.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I 100% agree, Halima. And that is our goal and our purpose. That is our purpose. That's why we exist.
I love that. You may not believe in it, but I feel like when you do contribute to our babies at any form, or adults or grandmothers or seniors, you're forming a village.
Yes.
And a village, if you ever get sick, you ever fall, you ever lay back, you're not falling by yourself. You got people like, wait a minute, I'm gonna make you some soup. Oh no, let me speak to your spirit. Oh no, let me come get you. Your car is down. That's what a village really is all about. And
Yes.
I think it is so needed and necessary, because in this current climate, we forgot about that. We forgot about being a village. So
Who are you letting stand on your shoulders? That's what I'll ask, Regina. Who are you letting stand on your shoulders?
I love
What are you doing to elevate someone else?
I love that. I definitely love that. So let's just talk about a little from my perspective coming in to the grand opening. Fabulous. I'm going to say it again. Fabulous. I need to say it one more time. Fabulous. And let me tell you from my perspective, I don't know if I had met you. I feel like I've seen you before, and I was invited by Sharita, and I literally pull up, and you guys had, when it said a grand opening, you guys had the grand opening. I love the beautiful balloon arch. You guys were dressed to perfection. You cut the ribbon. I said, okay, they not playing. I'm ready to go in. I went in, and I use this when something is unexpected. I'm looking everywhere. I see these beautiful displays for weddings. I also see, which I love, because typically when you go in an event center, my perspective, they give you the party, but you gave the workshop element as well, which I love. You had the little booklets sitting out. You had it all. So if you came in and you didn't have a vision, you were able to grab and say, oh, I can see myself having a meeting. In addition to that, I was all down the halls. I was all in your business. Okay, they said go and walk. The beautiful room that the wedding dress was displayed. Now, let me tell you why I loved it even more, if you don't mind. I just recently was in a wedding, and the venue that us women got dressed in, it was a bathroom inside the one room. So everybody else had to kind of do their own thing. I love that you have, just my little pet peeve, it's a sink outside of the bathroom where you can also, so I feel like you guys have looked at the little bitty touches. In addition to that, your room where food can be provided is gorgeous. It's nice. I love how we were able to go in and out and execute. So that was my perspective. And last but not least, I just have to say that the giveaway gifts was, I said, okay, on point, amazing. So it was really inviting. It was really a burst of great energy, and I'm glad I was able to be a part of that day. And the food was good, by the way. So I just had to give my perspective from the outside going in. Tell us a little bit about that day and how you guys prepared.
So Sharita has an amazing eye for decor.
Yes.
And if you think about her work, and both of us come as educated women with our bachelor's degree, and we come educated in this field. By the word, I graduated from an HBCU, Go University of Arkansas.
Oh, go ahead.
When you think about how we've been trained, there's a spirit of excellence that is upon us based on who we serve. And we go into our day job. Sharita now has taken on her entrepreneur job full time. And you think about everybody else you work for. And when you go to work and you're doing your best and you're executing. So we came at it from the mindset of, if this belongs to us, We are going to operate in a spirit of excellence, and we're going to anticipate the needs of our customers to figure out how do we get to a yes versus ever saying no. And then if and because we've rented other folks' places, we know exactly what we like to see. And the third thing I leave you with, Hallema, is we wanted to make sure that it was versatile. And if we can only get a person in one time, how do we show them everything we got one time? Because they might not walk through our door again, but they might remember. Like, how do we make them remember that they walked into this place and it was excellent? That we showed up excellent, we showed up beautiful, we were representing our brands as women, as entrepreneurs, as Black women, as Christians doing this thing. And how do we ensure that they remember us?
Well, if I know I was only there that one time. I can tell you when I came in, I saw corporate on this side. I saw a wedding on this side. I could see like a baby. You executed that on the highest level. Like you gave us a 360 of what the options were. And I thought that was amazing. So I didn't mean to go on, but I think it's really good from a customer standpoint to say, girl, this is what I saw. And I can't wait till I have the opportunity to link up and use your place. So we'll just put that out. I speak those things that are not as though they are. So I'm claiming it. What they say, claim it, name it, is yours for the asking.
I like it, girl. Let me just say yes. Let me tell you on the front end, yes, right now. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So of course, I don't know if you know this, but I love music. Music has turned me all the way out in such a wonderful way. And I say that because it is a mood stabilizer, but it's also a mood enhancer. I mean, it's no set point, but when you need something, you ain't got nothing else, I believe everybody should have a theme song. So if you driving down the street, you're on the way to an appointment, you get a little nervous, put that theme song on. I guarantee you, you come out, you ready for what you need to do.
I love it.
So I say all of that to say, can you identify a song that has either one blessed you, distracted you, or provided lessons? Now, before you answer, there's some rules to this. If you can sing, I need you to sing your throwbacks out.
Oh, I can't, but I cannot.
But if you can, but if you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint, like saying like you mean it. But if you cannot do any one of those things, you should say it bold. You should say it with passion. As they say in the streets, say it 10 toes down, because I need to be able to feel it. So I'll go back. Do you have either a blessing, a distraction, or a lesson that you can share with us from a song?
Yes. So my lesson and my blessing is going to be the theme song. I'm coming from Whitney Houston. And it is when I have been questioned or not respected in certain areas. So Hallema, because I said I've been working at the same company for 20 years, that means that I started at a very young age. And because I came in entry level, it's much different than where I sit now with a title that says vice president.
Oh, wait, let's clap that up. That's a work in itself, okay?
So my theme song is I'm Every Woman by Whitney Houston. So now I don't ask on whether or not I should be in the room. I'm at the head of the room. I don't ask on whether or not I should have a seat at the table, because if not, I'm in a position now I can buy my table and the table for my sister right next to me. So my theme song is I'm Every Woman.
Ooh, I think that is so apropos, and I love, come on, like I gotta just piggyback on. She said, I can buy my table and my sister table next to. I think I'm gonna have to use that. Like I can buy my table and my sister's table next to her. I think that's very important. What that provides when you're sitting in front of someone and you say, I said what I said in a professional way, it means I mean it. and either we can operate in this manner, or I can go on and go do whatever I need to do. You have options. And I believe that you created these options based off of these three type of people. And I'm going to share it with you because I saw this on your page. Around the way, in the way, or make a way. Tell me, I know which one you are, but just elaborate on which one that you are, or have you been in all three of those spaces?
I would say all three, but I've been living in make a way for 15 years. I've been living in make a way.
So talk about the make a way. What makes you in the last 15 years stay strong in make a way? Is it your experience? Is it something that happened to you? What has made you stay in there for the last 15 years?
It is the exposure. I've been exposed to more. Because I work in the health field, I've been exposed to a lack of education about the healthcare system. I've been exposed to a lack of treatment for Black women. I've been exposed to how to get access to medication that some people can and some people can't. It's because you haven't met me yet, so I can help you navigate access. So it's been for me exposure, a lot of exposure. And what has made me stay in this space, Hallema, has been somebody has to bridge the gap. And I love partnering with people to say, well, how can we move some chess pieces around to give other people an advantage?
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that. It's the reoccurring thing. You keep talking about how can I help? But again, when you have that self-love, you can always go out and help people. And I feel like in every moment, everything you keep talking about, where can I help? Where can I assist? Like you said, they didn't know what kind of drugs they can get because they didn't know me. Come on, listen, I'm paying attention and I'm loving it. I am loving it. So let's talk about the space. At the very beginning, I mentioned that you were an author and a speaker. Talk a little bit about that.
So I'm going to do speaker first. So when I first started at the company where I work at now, I used to do and have conversations with clients. And a young lady gave me some feedback and said, hey, Regina, where you sound like you talk with an accent, and when you talk, you've got to, and she was giving me feedback, and I was not receptive in my 20s to the feedback that she was giving me, but I went home and I practiced what she told me. But I learned humility to receive the feedback, regardless of what package it came in. I was not receptive in the moment, but then I realized feedback comes in all color, shapes, sites, and all the packaging. It truly is a gift. And I received that gift after I left the room and calmed myself and pulled myself together. But it propelled me. So think of me sitting in a room speaking to a group of 12 to July 9th of this year. I was in the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium speaking to a group of 24,000 people.
Wait. That's a clap up, honey. That is an absolute blessing. Wow.
So there have been doors that have been opened for me based on the role that I have within our organization to speak about different topics that are more corporate centric. So when I go into a school and I see a lack of potential hope or a lack of a skill, I'm like, no, baby, I've been there. Like, I didn't know how to speak like this 20 years ago, or I didn't know how to engage or influence or network or put together a presentation like this 20 years ago, but someone taught me, because I came from a single family home, a loving family. It was drugs in our family. It was, you just name it. It was all around. But someone was praying, and someone was educating, and someone was pouring, and someone was planting. And right? So that is how I would answer your question just about the public speaking side. Now, let me cross over to the author side. When I opened the salon, which was our first business, I was like, oh, this is a journey. I'm gonna write a whole book about this. This been
it tried you, girl.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then I said when we did the Vincent, I'm write another book. I'm write another. So I wrote a book about how to be to go from entrepreneur to ownership. I'm sorry, to go from stylist to ownership. If you want to own a salon, you can own a salon. Everybody doesn't have to stay behind the chair. Now, mind you, the 17 young ladies who work at the Beautiful studio, they off the chain. They off the
Wow.
chain. And they're doing what they like to do. But because we've diversified the salon, we have X amount of natural hairstylists, X amount of locticians, X amount of braiders, right? So we how we set it up was that you're just not walking in and everybody's just braiding hair, right? We got 17. No, 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 no. This is gonna be full circle. This is gonna be we are going to if we can touch it and if you could do something, we know how to do it. You want to weave, you want like so whatever it is. So all of that led me to a place where I wanted to share again, who are you going to let stand on your shoulders, Regina, where I can share what I learned and share the journey. So the book is around how to be an entrepreneur within this space of salon ownership.
I love that. I love because you're not just writing from observation, which is some great books from there. You have completed the experience to pour into the pages to say, listen, I've been there. And when you've been there, you know the good, bad, and sometimes the ugly
Yes,
that
ma'am.
goes along with it. And I think that's needed and necessary, especially when someone is trying to start, because they may see only the good part. Am I talking to you?
Ma'am. Yes,
And,
ma'am.
and they be ready to give up because nobody didn't tell them you will have some days that you're staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning. You will have some days when you're trying to figure something out. And you said, Lord, I need you to come down and talk to me right now, not right now. So
Yeah.
I think it's necessary to have a place or someone that has the experience to say, I've been there, done that, and I can tell you all about it.
I love that, Hallema. And our our goal when I was talking to my husband about writing this book, there are pages to take notes. And then if you buy the book, I'll spend some time with you. I'll spend some time with you and just walking you through whatever questions you have. So it's not
That's
just about buy the book and I make money out. No, 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 no. No, no. You want some help? I will tell you everything I got in my head.
You know, I'm starting to see a theme associated with you, really the attention to detail, because oh, you buy the book, but I'll provide some time. When and I'm going back again to the grand opening. When I came in, the notebooks were sitting out on the corporate side where you can do a workshop. And I remember as the young lady was kind of giving me, which was a great added feature, she kind of answered the questions, talked about the packages, talk about what's available. And she said, oh, by the way, these books come with it. I said, excuse me? In my nice professional way, come again. She was like, no, this is not just display, it will come with it. And I was like, wow. I thought that was an added touch. So it continues to show who you are, and you're always thinking about elevation, always looking for the higher form of doing things. So let's talk about music again. We're gonna go back. I told you it's turned me out. So can you identify a song that you have sung for years, whether a child and you was just like, oh yes, and then you became an adult or you became aware, you go, wait 1 minute, I didn't know that song was talking about that. And I'll give you an example with me. I don't know if you remember the song, I'm lost without you. It's easy to see. I think it was what is their name? BB and CC Wining.
Uh-huh.
Let me be the first to say I'm lost without you. Girl, I thought that was a love song. They was talking about God. I'm lost without, okay, but you couldn't tell me nothing like, yes, they talking about I'm lost without my lover. So we all have our perspective. And then I was like, oh, they're talking about the love of God. So can you identify a song?
Yeah, but let me just preface my song. So my mom is from the was born in the 50s. So I was born in the 70s. So I grew up with albums everywhere, everywhere. So music was very common in our home. And even though I can't sing, I can dance. And if you turn it on, I'm moving. So this is getting ready to crack you up, Hallema. So you remember the song? It's an old song too. I was in my teens, early teens. And you know how the song was you will have to wet my whistle.
Oh yes, that's yes. What's that? What's the guy's name? The Whispers.
Yeah, but the group was Midnight Star. Midnight.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't say wet my whistle.
What did you say?
You're gonna have to wet the bottle with salt. And then like literally wet the bottle with salt.
I think you get the grand prize of the best answer. You really sung that?
Wet the bottle with salt.
Wait, what?
It wasn't wet my whistle until my mom told me, "What are you saying?"
Oh my gosh.
And this, when I say, "What are you saying?" This was probably, I don't know, from 12 or 13 when I heard and was singing a song with my mom to she corrected me maybe in my 20s.
Girl, stop playing. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Bottle with salt.
But you know what? I'm glad you said this. Let me say this. What we hear at the time is what we hear. And think about how cross communication can be. One word can be said different, and we had somebody throw and they go, wait, you said this. And you're like, no, I said, no, thank you. I didn't say she better say no, thank you. I said, no, thank you. So with that, we elevate, our ears elevate as we grow and we experience life. And I look at that song selection as that, like, what you thought it was, wasn't necessarily what it was. Say it again. Wet
the bottle with salt.
Forget that. Oh, hilarious. Wet the bottle with salt. And if you think about it, if you're saying it with the music, you was doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was the Whispers, but it's say it again. It was
the group.
Yeah.
It's Midnight Star.
Midnight Star. I don't know why I wanted to get the Whispers, but I love that. Wet the bottle with salt.
Yeah, that was me wetting my whistle.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, we are many things, as I mentioned, all those different things at the very beginning, and you also jumped on and said, yeah, we are many things. Let's talk about being a mother and being a wife and how those two spaces hold a lot of responsibility, and you being able to identify who you are. Because let's be real, and I'm going to talk about me. It has been times I've been lost as a mother and I have forgot about Hallema. I'm very clear now to balance that out, but it has been a lot of women that have fell into that space. How can you balance that out in your perspective throughout the time, being a mother and a wife, and not forgetting about you?
That's a good one, Hallema. We have something in our family that we call private time. And you can't have private time. Like if I'm in my private time, then no one can disrupt my private time. But inside of private time, there's time where my husband and I, and it starts like this, Hallema. So we don't do anything on Sundays. Like the entire Jones house is, we either football, family, fun, fellowship, but we not coming to visit you. Like you come on. Sunday is sacred for us, and we have a whole routine on Sunday, and that's at the top level. On every Thursday and Friday, I make sure I'm doing something with my son. Either we are doing like Mexican food, which he absolutely loves, or pasta, which he loves, or that he loves. But we're doing something so I can create memories with my son that makes us have a lasting relationship. And girl, he turned around and went into this 14-year-old who he don't like, he not hugging as much. No, I'm like, what is with 14? Like, what shifted
I
from
have a 14-year-old too, so
holding on to my leg to bear like moms, right? So me making sure that I'm nurturing him where I'm also allowing him to grow and become a man. So we have our family time, which is Sunday. I have my personal time with my son, which is Thursday and Friday. And more importantly, my husband and I make sure that we have our own date nights. And sometimes, Hallema, date night could be him and I going over to Cafe Zupa with nobody else, no noise, no cell phones, and it's just me and my husband. Or it could be us jumping on a plane and going somewhere, or saying we're going to go to the Raiders game because it's in town and we have some seats at the Raiders. Like, so whatever we decide to do, we create these moments within our family where they just remember me. And I'm going to tell you why that's important, but also we remember each other. Hallema, when I am not with my family, Monday through Thursday morning, I am doing something corporate wise. So here's an example. Next Monday, I'll be in Florida, Monday through Wednesday. And then I'm headed to Dallas, Texas the next week, Tuesday through Thursday. So when that plane land back in Vegas, I need everything I can get from the Jones family. Right? Making sure that they remember me and that I'm creating memories. I'm not going to have an event center. I'm creating memories for everybody else, and I ain't creating none for the Jones house.
You talking some good
The
stuff.
Devil is a liar. No, it is not going to happen. So that's how I would answer that question. I make sure that we have time that's protected.
I love that you are intentional. And what I say intentional, you have it carved out. Now, let me say that nothing is perfect. Sometimes things may vary here and there, but I love that you're intentional, and I love the term private time. So many times as women, we give this part, we give that part, and we don't have any time for ourselves. And then we become agitated, irritated, or snapping. I love that you are giving to a young lady, a young man, or anybody that you can map out and prioritize intentional pieces in your life. And I believe in communicating. Before I started this podcast, I sat my children down. Now, I wanted to do it years ago. But when I did finally get to the time, I sat my children down, both teenagers. I have a 14 and a 16, soon to be 17-year-old. And I told them about what I was going to do and how I'm asking for their support as I support them along their journey. That's good. I tell you what, have they support me? They are my biggest critic, but they're my biggest champion. And they will tell it like a TI is, these children, you'd be like, did you just say it like that? Okay. But I say all of that. They have gotten me. My daughter had recommend something. And I said to her, I said they. She quickly said, who is they? She was checking me like I would check her. She said, who is they? I said, well, that is, she said, did you try it? Do you know they? And I'm thinking in my head, is she throwing back what I would say to her? But I bless her because what she told me was correct. And I went back to her even later and said, if you had not said that to me, I would not have been successful on that. And I say that to say, when we do interact with our babies and they do give us a piece of advice, because sometimes we're the teachers, but sometimes we're the students.
Oh, that's good.
Give them credit. Let them know, thank you. I appreciate you. Because sometimes we're just only in that authoritative, like, this is what I said, and that's not how it works. But I digress when I, went to that. But thank you for your answer. That private time, I'm going to take that and store that into my mental Rolodex. And I like that. I think it's phenomenal.
One of the things that you said that reminds me that 50% of our kids is 100% of us. 50% of my son is 100% of me. And sometimes I'm like, that must be my 60%. 50% of him is 100% of me.
Wow. I love the way you put that.
Part of me that is not pleasant, the part of me that is not always honorable, the part of me where I am impatient and sometimes, yeah, that all of that, Regina. So where's the grace? And I love that you said, if I need to go back and humble myself and apologize, there's a level of respect to gain respect.
Yes,
I don't care
yes.
how old they are. There's a level of respect to gain respect.
It really is. And not only that, we come from, and I assume you and I are in the same age range. We come from, this is what was said and that was it. And it's a certain beauty to that, but it's also, it has to be a balance to any and everything that's done. And we have to allow a space for them to be boisterous in a respectful way, because I'm that crazy one. You ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. Yes, I say it 10 toes down. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I have something where I say, whatever you do frequently becomes your frequency. Well, my frequency, you ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way, okay? So yes, write that down. I have a shirt. That is my saying. Whatever you do frequently becomes your frequency. Yes, yes, that is my thing. But and I truly believe in that, and that's in any arena that we may go. But respect is the biggest thing, and we have to give grace when
Yeah.
they don't understand what respect is. So we need to be able to say, "Hey, your tone and cadence was this." When you go out in the world, if you do that, I have patience with you, but somebody may counsel you or not give you an opportunity. When you do this, you put a handle, you say miss or mister or this or that. So I do think that we have to drop those little nuggets for them, and also the nuggets that they drop for us. We take it and it's for us as well. So I digress. I just had to share that. I hope you didn't mind.
Love it. I love it.
So, before we get out of here, I do have one more question about music. If you had the opportunity to send a song out to the world that represents you or give a piece of you, can you identify a song?
Yes. And some people, some people might have to go Google this one or YouTube it. The song is beautiful. And it's by a Christian guy named Hove, Hulvey. It's called Beautiful. And it starts off real slow and then it has this beautiful uptick. But all he's talking about is how beautiful. You're so beautiful. And he just keeps saying it over and over and over again. So that would be my one song that everyone knows, regardless of what the enemy whispers, regardless of the noise in your head, and regardless of the doubts of those around you that you have sometimes trusted. Just knowing yourself that you are beautiful.
I feel like this was so scripted. You talked about the beautiful place. You talked about the beautiful salon. You talked about where you can go get things to become beautiful. And look at what you end with. You know what? You are bad. Shut your mouth. Go ahead, girl. I love it. I love it. And before we get out of here, can you please, please bless my audience and tell them how they can connect with you if they want to purchase your book? Talk about all three of your locations of the beautiful company, your salon, your hair place, all that stuff, and any Instagram links or anything like that you would like to provide.
You got it. So we are real simple across the board. Everything we do is beautiful. So we have the Beautiful Studio, which is our hair salon. That's our IG as well as our website. We have the Beautiful Event Center. That is our IG as well as our website. But if you miss all of those things, if you miss them all, you can just go to I'm one of a kind, reginajones.com. And all of it is connected.
I love that. I love how it's simple. Again, I think you did some brand management because that's the way to go. I think that's absolutely beautiful. And before we get out of here, I like to talk about the journey and the destination. The journey is where we learn and grow. That's where we get in and we find that good, bad, and ugly I was talking about. That's the journey. But the destination is where you celebrate. And the reason why I talk about the destination, far too often, people just work, 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 and they don't have a time to celebrate, to fellowship, to look at what they've done. It's like, yes, I did it. I had fun. But we can't dwell in that too long. We got to get back into that journey so we can elevate and we can learn and we can grow. And with that being said, when I have my men on, I salute them. But when I have my women, I bow. So I bow to you, beautiful lady. And I thank you so much for coming on to my platform and saying yes. I don't believe this will be the last time, so I'm just going to put it out there. And before we get out of here, I always love to give my guests the very last words. Go to you.
Hallema, thank you for having a voice and creating a platform for us to show up and to be seen. And I agree with you. I am confident that our paths will cross because destiny is never a doubt. It always has something that is continuous. So thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for being part of my destiny. And I am so grateful that God connected us. Like he somehow, some way through Sharita and how Sharita, like I am grateful for the connection. So thank you for allowing the message to be revealed today through me.
Wait a minute. Did she just pull that out? You go, girl. She said for the message to be revealed today. And that is really the overall arching part of my platform. What do we reveal? Things that have laid dormant, things that we need to share with others to benefit them. So I thank you. I need my audience to put their hands together and thank my beautiful guest, Miss Regina. Yes. Thank you, my sis. And like I tell all my guests, I will see you out here in these Las Vegas streets. So thank you, beautiful lady.
Thank you so much, Hallema. You have a beautiful day.
Thank you.